guys, it's Cash, and today I have a reading from the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 6 and 7. This is what the Lord Almighty says: In a little while I will once more shake the heavens and earth and sea and the dry land. I will shake all nations, and what is desired by all nations will come, and I will fill this house with glory, says the Lord Almighty. So, today I want to talk about Psy-ops. So, Psy-ops are things that the military runs on foreign enemies. This is something that they have perfected. I've talked a lot about Michael Aquino with psychological warfare. So, these are tactics that they use overseas. And here on American soil, these are tactics that gang stalkers use on targeted individuals every day. So today I want to talk about these psychological operations. So every day for about a year and a half that I've noticed, now this could have been going on way longer than that, but I never in my life dreamed that some psychological operation would be run on me. Who thinks that? My reality has completely shifted to see things from a deeper perspective. And so they'll use anybody for these operations. It could be just normal civilians, people from neighborhood watch. A lot of people think that supercomputers are used in gang stalking, which I do believe that, but then there's some times where the gang stalking isn't as synchronized and isn't as timed perfect, because a lot of people think that the timing of these things to happen is so perfect that there has to be some type of technology behind it. But the more and more that I see it, I've been able to kind of break it down. There are a lot of hand signals used in these types of operations. I've been walking down the street, I'll see somebody walking this way, they'll make a hand signal to somebody that's up across the street away, and that'll signal for them to come out and start walking my way. So it could be a combination of things. A lot of people have a hard time believing that the CIA would be behind something like this, but I think that the military, that is definitely a believable thing, because it's something that needs to be tested, and who better to test it on than actual people to see if it's effective. So a common thing that I see in these psychological operations are doppelgangers. Sometimes we'll have somebody that looks exactly like someone from a traumatic situation in your past, or maybe someone that they think that you had a relationship with in your past. They'll find somebody that looks like that person and put them in a situation with you to see how you react, to what your reaction will be. Or they'll just take people, just random people, and have them wear wigs or a certain color, or just different things like that to evoke some type of emotional response. Because remember, at the end of the day, what this is designed for is to subliminally, because that's what it is, it's subliminally, this is all psychological, it's subliminally triggering you to get that response. And they want to get you to act in a way that goes along with what they are saying about you in your smear campaign. So this is reputation sabotage. I've had instances where I've had 3 men that look like people that I've dated. A man that looked like a Palestinian ex that I had, a man with sleeves as tattoos, and then a man that I recently dated that looked just like him walked into the restaurant. Now, it was very obvious because the one guy was just staring at me the whole time. The other guy with the tattoos was just minding his business, eating his food. And then the other guy, the third guy, walked into the restaurant, stood behind me, Like, I acknowledged him a little bit, noticed that I wasn't going to go for anything, and then walked out. Now, what I believe that is, it was a setup, for me to start talking to one of these guys and, go home with them. And so that way that they could make, that I was just a whore or easy or whatever thing that they said about me true. A lot of the stuff, oh, you bit the apple. That's what they're into, the apple. You took it. You took the temptation. That's something that they try to do, and that's another form of a setup. And they will use a psychological operation to do that. So there came a time where every situation, every event that I walked into, there had to have been so much time and effort put into these things, because every event that I walked into had the same furniture or like something in an apartment that I shared with my last relationship, or just something that I wrote in the blog was in that apartment. So even like the furniture, like I was supposed to like freak out because the furniture was the same. No, I don't care. Like, that was a furniture in the old apartment. It is what it is. So for me, I've looked at it as a healing experience. Now I just, I'm to the point where I've done enough healing to where it doesn't really bother me anymore. But at first, I was so confused. I just remember being so confused and just angry. And that's the number one thing when you're going through this. Do not react. That's the number one thing you don't want to do. You want to observe. You want to see what is around. Are they using doppelgangers? Are these things that I've said in past conversations? Or is this past furniture that I've had at my house? And then just go home, write it all down, and just try to forget about it. But then always go back to that notebook when things happen again, and just you'll start to see a pattern of things that they do, of the things that they're trying to expose you to. So, and for a while, I was just getting triggered so much in like the beginning of all this, that I would take to social media and I would write memes and I would post them because I was just so angry that there was nothing else that I could do about it, because I couldn't react there. So I would react on social media, and I thought that, that was, well, it actually did help me a lot. It helped me get all that frustration about what was going on out of me. But yeah, it's a very, how can I say this? There's people out there that are very psychological, and then there's people out there that aren't very psychological, that don't see subliminal meanings in things. So for somebody that can't see a subliminal meaning and doesn't see this for what it is, intentional triggering, this could be very damaging to somebody, because what this is supposed to do, besides elicit a response, a bad response out of somebody, it's supposed to recreate the trauma. And if you're exposed to that trauma over and over again, you're putting your body through that trauma, your mind through that trauma, essentially over and over and over again. And if somebody doesn't realize that this is what is happening to them, then they're not going to be in a very good place. And that is where I think a lot of these diagnoses for things that they don't really even have are coming into play. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today. If anybody has any experiences with Psy-ops, please comment down below if you know anything regarding the military and how they run these things. Link those links below. And if you like what I'm saying, like. If you don't like what I'm saying, dislike. Please subscribe. And as always, God bless.